at 320 for Damien Oliver, and then down to Mutate at 860. So not much between two of them there. Dan's Princess at $19. Now they are parading at Flemington. Let's have a look at them here with Alfie and Regrowth, the toppy here. Tony McAvoy trained. It's had a freshen up since last racing, Alf.
And it wasn't all that disappointing, I didn't think, at Caulfield when it finished fifth, was beaten less than 3 lengths. He's a lovely looking individual, and if he gets his act together, he's got the pacifiers on. Look, he's a nice horse. He'll run well.
OK, let's have a look at number 2 here, Akali, Brett Preble's ride. There's a pretty long odds today, and was down the track last start at the Valley.
Yeah, too disappointing last start, I feel, to be competitive in a race like this.
Number 3, Dance with Debs, had a wrap on it, a filly by Desert King, trained by Gay Waterhouse. I think Gay'd love to win a race in Melbourne on Cup Day. 3 starts, 2 wins, and she has looked impressive, Al.
Well, I think Gay Waterhouse would be very pleased with the way this horse has come to Melbourne today. It looks very, very well indeed in the mounting enclosure. And I think what you've got to remember too, I think this horse has been programmed for the Spring Carnival in Melbourne.
OK, now number 4, Frassasas, Darren Gauci, 840 at the moment. Nice third at Caulfield last start.
I didn't think it was well suited in the early stages, got pushed around, and I think you'll find drawn out just a touch, or to the middle, should I say. I think it'll be better suited there. Looks OK.
OK, let's have a look at Northern Rose. She was a winner 2 runs back there at Cranbourne. Not a bad run at Moonee Valley at $22 today. Yeah,
respectable. And still looks okay as well. Look, it's going okay. It just hasn't managed to win all that many. But, you know, you still look at its form. It's still won 2 from 8. So, you know, I think it's a horse that you've got to consider.
Well, the favourite is Lady Diva. She looks pretty good too. Damien Oliver rides for Peter Moody. 5 starts, 2 wins, 2 placings. And she was a best bet from a lot this morning.
Beautifully balanced individual that's well suited at this track and distance. Didn't have any luck last time, and you know, I suppose the barrier draw is the query here.
Let's look at number 7 in the race. This is Xanax. She's been racing very well, but more around the provincials, but she's looked pretty impressive, and she's nice each way odds today. And
let's face it, all you can do is win, and that's all she's been asked to do. And I tell you what, there's worse looking horses in the yard than her. It looks well.
OK, number 8 in the race is the Octagonal filly, trained by David Hall, Mutate. And Glenn Boss is the rider. She'd be a chance.
Yes, she draws near the outside here, which I don't know whether it's going to be perfect, but if they're coming to the middle of the track in this event, I think you find it may be well suited. It's a lovely looking horse, and I do believe it should have won on debut down the straight here. A little bit unlucky, missed the start, got pushed around a touch. Oh, this will definitely run the trip right out. Looks good.
What about Light Sweeper, Matty Pumper's ride here? Would you give it a chance?
Well, again, its performance behind Star of Gretchen, again, was very good. Drawn the outside, at least it's not going to get pushed around, and I'm anticipating it will get back a bit. Unlike when I made comment about Lady Diva, who's drawn out a little bit, is an on-pace horse, which could make it a bit tough, but it looks fine.
Number 10 is a filly by Dan Zero, trained by Colin Alderson, Dan's Princess, and won nicely at Moe when it broke through for its maiden victory that day.
And defeated a horse called Requisite on that occasion. Yeah, that form's not too bad at all. It is a bit of a step up here because I think this is a pretty classy race. Yeah, I'd risk it.
One of the outsiders is Hidden Strings, Darren Beedman's ride. She's by Weasel Claws, and she won at Sale last start.
Yes, and just got there. Had to come from an awkward gate on that occasion, so I think there's a little bit more merit in the performance than what appears. Has drawn beautifully.
What about Mystical Ali? Bit of a long shot in the race. Zach Burton rides.
Yes, with Mystical Ali. In fact, you can probably write your own ticket out there.
I just have, I think. All right, Alfie, thank you. And a pretty impressive field of 3-year-old fillies going around in the listed Seppelt Great Western over the 1400. There's the divs at Morfettville, and the old bloke Red Astaire, who'd been over the jumps, but he won on the flat today with Nozi Tomazawa aboard. At Randwick, our Jinmar and Mitchell Bell were too good, at 129.50 that trifecta. And we've got a first 4. We'll get that in a moment. It's just gone out of...
At double figure odds. Hidden Springs went okay the other day at Sale, but it's a big odd stepping right up in class here at $32 odd. So the favourite is Dance with Deb. Okay on the tote at the moment, 330. The other one that's had the support is the 8, while Lady Diva is very much unders the tote. Good race.
It is a very good race, Andrew. I think the speed probably comes from Lady Diva or, in fact, Regrowth. Now, he steps up in ground today. A lovely designed horse, this, and he is by Unbridled Song. Does give me the impression that at an even pace, he should be able to race right up there and run it right out. He really does look fantastic. Mutate fits into the same category. I've got no doubt being by Octagonal. The 1400 suits perfectly. It's one that's going to get back just a touch, although how much I'm not quite sure, because it does step up and it's still got the brilliance from that 1,000-metre race going to the 1400, so it'll be interesting where it gets to in the run, but it is a very interesting one and could be a bit tricky under the surface.
And Elf, just one final quick one. We're how long from the Cup? We're about an hour and 10 minutes or so from the Cup. We've been here since 8 o'clock or even earlier this morning. The build-up of the atmosphere, it's starting to really feel it now, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is, Andrew. It's absolutely fantastic. Looking right around the entire course, the crowd on the other side of the track is filling up all the time.
We're going to come back shortly, Chris, with another special guest, Lee Matthews.
Alrighty, and there's the runners heading to the start. The Seppelt Great Western, 4 minutes to start time. There is a value bet. A short time ago, Alf Matthews caught up with Lady Diva's trainer here. She's an excellent chance in this too. Let's head back to the track. Peter Moody is the man.
Well, Peter, Lady Diva, I thought it was a touch unlucky the other day at Caulfield. Things just didn't seem to go to plan. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. From the awkward gate, was posted 3-4 deep, had to work hard and cross to go to the front. Unfortunately, we might be faced with a similar dilemma today from that awkward alley from the 1400, but Damien will be instructed to go back today if that's the case.
And Schumpeter, you're running the Melbourne Cup today. I suppose long odds justified.
Well, 300 odd nommed, and we're one of the 24 here in the day. Long odds justified. He's fit well on trial at the trip like the rest of them.
Yeah, no, that's fair comment, and honesty is wonderful. Karamazoo, interesting runner. Had one run back this time. Can he improve?
Yeah, raced at Caulfield today. We got hit by the storm. Wasn't suited by the greasy track. Has handled the straight quite well. Nice old horse, not far away.
Sounds good, and you've also got a Muksha in the last. Peter, good luck on a big day.
We'll need it, Alf. All the best.
Got a very good chance here with Lady Diva. Peter Moody there talking with Alf Matthews, and they're almost equal favourites. Dance with Deb and Lady Diva. Then Mutate and Frassasas. Okay, let's go back and see what betting moves are being made at Flemington on this 6-1 to go before the big one, the Tension Mount, fellas.
No doubt about that. This is what racing's all about, days like this. And Melbourne Cup, about an hour and 10 minutes away. Dance with Deb, holding up okay on the Super Tab in particular. $3.20 off compared to what they're betting on track. It's been supported, and it's going to start the dominating favourite. Okay on the tote.
Yeah, clearly the favourite and clearly the late mail here. Look, I was very taken by its appearance in the mounting enclosure, and I love seeing horses come down. When they travel and they look that good, they generally do perform. So more than happy to have something on it if you're prepared to take the short odds. But yeah, a little bit of money also for Mutate. Again, looks good. I suppose just the race has got to pan out in order for it. And given the fact that it is relatively inexperienced to having its second start.
We've just seen a terrific shot of down the straight there at Flemington, and the crowd. Gee, they've swarmed in. No excuses, Elf. And well, I reckon the jockeys, no wonder they get pumped when they go through, go out onto the track or come back off the track with through the roses that have slowly started to come out. They've been running a bit late, but they're starting to come out now. And gee, it's just a feeling that would be an unbelievable one.
It's one that I guarantee you a jockey never ever forgets. Coming back, particularly after success, it is a beautiful feeling and something that you cherish for the rest of your life.
Just saw something not unusual, but Sayed bin Sarood just striding through the mounting yard with Tony Howarth and Alan Byrne, the media spokesman behind him, with the blue silks. With the dry cleaning plastic still over the top of them. So they're ready, clean and ready to go.
And he had a very good spring in his step too.
He did. He was bounding through. Who knows what they'll be doing straight after the Cup. Race 6, the clear favourite, Dance with Deb here, Chris, and the others, a little bit of support, number 8, but it's okay on the tote too at the moment at that $7.70 quote.
Okay, thanks to Andrew and Alf, doing a great job there today. It's a full-on day at Flemington, there's no doubt about it, and we've got the Cup to come. And Dance with Deb, the 3.20 favourite in front of Lady Diva. Here is Greg Miles for race 6.
Well, Dance with Deb has been a pronounced favourite right through betting on track. She's very, very solid, Dance with Deb. Lady Diva, actually she opened equal favourite, but they immediately split in the market. One firming, Dance with Deb, and one drifting out, Lady Diva. And that's been the continued trend in the race. Mutate has attracted a little bit of late support. Now Dan's Princess has gone up. Xanax goes into the stalls, and the colours for Was will carry in the Melbourne Cup. Lady Diva goes up, forced to lead after racing wide at Caulfield. Just might get a better run today. Dance with Deb links in company with Regrowth. So Mutate to move along. Was unlucky at her only start here at Flemington. It was over 1,000 metres. She's got to make the quick rise in distance. Frassasas moving into the stalls. Third behind Star of Gretchen last time out. Light Sweeper moved up, and that completed it. The runners, they're off. Oh, Dance with Deb not all that fast away. And Mystical Ali got back with Light Sweeper. Dan's Princess first out, joined by Regrowth, and Akali pushing through on the inside to hold third, and they're followed by Hidden String settling down in 4 in the pink colours. Northern Rose moving up a length away, and they're trailed then further back Mystical Ali, who's getting through along the inside, followed by Xanax, and then Mutate the outside. One Dance with Deb. She's got 3 behind her, Frassasas, and then 3 lengths away Lady Diva, who's on the inside of Light Sweeper. Coming up the side, Dan's Princess at the 800 by a length to Regrowth, and a length and a half away in third. Akali on the inside of Northern Rose. 2 lengths Mystical Ali running 5th on the rails, and the blue and red stars being followed by Hidden Strings, and around the outside then Mutate. Light Sweeper taking off very deep around the corner. Dance Princess long way back towards the home turn there. Dance with Deb, as Dance Princess has kicked away by a length and a half into the straight, and Lady Diva still towards the end in company with Frassasas. Dance Princess in front of Regrowth. Down the outside Mutate, Light Sweeper, then came Northern Rose and Akali. The favourites look too far back. Regrowth hit the lead at the 200. Down the outside Mutate and Light Sweeper. It's Mutate and Light Sweeper going to the lead in the last 100. Light Sweeper with the blinkers on, draws clear, and Light Sweeper beats Mutate. Regrowth 3 lengths away third, just from Xanax and Lady Diva, and they were trailed closely in the field then by Akali and Dance with Deb, who never came into the race after just being a little slow at the start. Northern Rose well back with Frassasas. Dan's Princess dropped right out of it, and they were followed further back then by Mystical Ali and last in Hidden Strings.
Well, an upset with Light Sweeper, Matt Pumper down the outside at 22.34.90, defeating Mutate, and Regrowth getting third. And the well-backed favourites in the race just didn't get into it. Dance with Deb and, of course, Lady Diva. It looks like Xanax has run 4th. Now, there's the first 4. 54,296.60. 54,296.60, the first 4. There's the rest of the divs after the running of race 6, so somewhat of an upset before the Melbourne Cup. And we're, about 53 minutes or so away from the running of the Tui's new Melbourne Cup. So that will be the next one, of course, from Flemington. But a lot more interviews and lead up before the running of the big one today, and we'll have a look at the complete field before they go out onto the track there. Now, at Morfettville, the runners next was 4th, and 1,729 the trifecta, and that first 4, $54,296.60. Well, he's a very promising young rider, Matt Pumper. He's already created an impression, and he's there at Flemington.
In Light Sweeper, and perhaps when we look through this horse here, maybe a little bit unlucky, Matty, to have not probably put another couple of wins together, but gee, I like the way this horse got to the line.
Yeah, last start, she really needed the blinkers on. She was on and off, and you know, she raced like she really wanted them on. I told Steve to put them on, and he's put them on, and she's really grown another leg. She really hit the line good. All right, you didn't sit against her, you just let her roll along, and not so much had a little bit of cover. You weren't, I'm looking at it from my point of view, you weren't worried about covering a little bit of extra ground. She just likes a little bit of room around it? Yeah, she does. The other day she was a bit hesitant going in between them, but there was a horse we tracked into the race, and it got in about the half mile and left us without any cover, but I wasn't too worried. She was always travelling well.
That was 1,400 metres today. Just looking at the way right on the line, she looks like she's going to get a little bit of ground.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I told Steve not to step her up straight away. I'd just give her a couple more at that, and then she'll step up and make a really nice horse.
Well done, mate.
Yeah, Matty Pumper there, the rider of Light Sweeper, and a very good win in the...
A big day. 2, 7, 4 and 9.
A beauty, thank you, Tony. And a very open betting race it is too. One of the more open today at Randwick, where a value bet does apply. Stadium, it's first up after a spell. There's the divs at Flemington, and 1,729, the 981 trifecta, with Xanax fourth, 54,296.60, the first four.
Samo.
The rail's not going to help you out 14 metres?
No, that's it, but we just do our best from there.
Okay, it looks a pretty hard day. Have you got a best one for us?
I happen to be truthful, Mike. I'm just hoping for the best.
All right, good luck.
Same to you. All the best.
And to all of us. Okay, James Innes on Stadium in the next event on the card here at Randwick. And the runners will be moving in there shortly. Lord of Lords is the favourite for Huey Bowman in front of Wellback Stanford. The Cup. And it's not that far away. We're counting down. That's the fabulous scene over Flemington on a perfect day for the Cup. And just looking at the ratings again for you. Mamool, the top rater from County Tyrone, Mr. Prudent and Distinctly Secret. 2, 6, 8 and 9. Here is the full market for the Melbourne Cup. 42 minutes away now. $40 Jardine's Lookout. Mamool at $8.60. Mill Street 32. Pentastic at $10. County Tyrone at $40. Holy Orders at $15. Mr. Prudent, $12. 13 about Distinctly Secret. Hugs Dancer at $21. Grey Song at $9.40. Mackivy Diva at $9.70. 77 Piace. Turmeric at $27. Frightening, the favourite, at $6.10 for Shane Dye and Bart Cummings. 146 for Schumpeter. It's probably the roughest horse in the race. 52 She's Archie. Zagalia at 20, nice odds. Ain't Seen Nothing for Barbara Joseph, $36. Big Pat, $26. Bold Bard, $138. Devon, $117. Farways, $92. And Yakama, $63 for young Michael Rodd. That's the scene overlooking Flemington, the crowd on their toes waiting for horses to come into the mounting yard, and that should happen in about 25 minutes from now. Frightening at $6.10, the favourite for the Cup. That's the top 8 in front of Mamool, Grey Song, Mackivy Diva, Pentastic, Mr. Prudent, Distinctly Secret and Holy Orders. Now, the runners getting set at Randwick, and they're moving in at the 1,400 barriers. Let's head to Ian for the fourth.
10-hour Jinmar won the previous. Mitchell Bell beat 5 Gorilla, 4 Leewoods and 6 Sheer Hill. Second to 5 Alonga Magic, Hugh Bowman, and 9 Glossy Games, Ronnie Stewart won the first. Coming up to line now is Stadium. So that paves the way for Occo, as the name suggests. By Octagonal from Lee's Bit. Gee, beautifully bred, isn't he? He's resuming today. He's been a lightly raced fellow. Only 4 starts, a win and 2/3. And a Pensive Warfare, who's been the best back to beat Lord of Lords, is coming up now. Trained up at Gosford by Kevin Miller. We've got one down from Condobolin here. Steve Beattie's got Z Action in the race. Anyway, we'll soon know the outcome. They're all set. 1,400. Racing. Robert Royale stood there and missed it by about 5 or 6 lengths, and Stanford came out very quickly. Well, Pensive Warfare's up there at the moment. Now he's going back. The Shaunstead to second, third Newcastle Crown. Stadium fourth, and wide out Pensive Warfare, followed by Occo's Adaction. Then the favourite Lord of Lords, a length the breakaway Kenmara, and Robert Royale's tacking on. To the course proper they gallop, and the Shaunstead is the leader narrowly from Stanford. Pensive Warfare, well, it was the intention to ride him back, but he's being ridden forward. He's He's third, about a length and 3/4 Newcastle Crown, followed by Stadium, wider out as Occo, then Lord of Lords, followed by Z Action. Off the course is Breakaway from Ken Morrow and Robert Royale. This is the order as they come along past the 600 and the Shaunston. Nearly 2 lengths Stanford. Pensive Warfare third, ridden along from Newcastle Crown, and then Stadium. Lord of Lords is pegged away, awkwardly posied, followed by Occo and then Z Action. And Breakaway heads the others as they turn for home now. The Shaunston from Stanford. Pensive Warfare. Newcastle Crown trying to poke up on the fence. Lord of Lords is almost into the clear, but not quite. Now there's a run for Lord of Lords if he's good enough, and he's starting to hit top gear now. 150 to go. Lord of Lords after Pensive Warfare. Lord of Lords, Pensive Warfare. Pensive Warfare's got his nose in front. Lord of Lords is getting him now, though, and Lord of Lords beat Pensive Warfare. There's nothing in it for third. Z Action, Stadium wide out. Newcastle Crown the fence from Occo. And then a break in proceedings. Robert Royale, well, after bluing the start, he's beaten a few in, and the few were Breakaway, the Shaunston, Ken Morrow and Stanford. Good run. Lord of Lords has been able to score here, ridden by Huey Bowman, winning double for Huey. He booted home a longer magic in the second of the day. Number 2, Lord of Lords. I think he might be a useful horse, this fella, and he's by King of Kings from Mean Eyes. And as we were saying earlier in the day, certainly in the Sky Inside running preview, and again on radio in the preview, you had to overlook Gosford. He was very heavily supported, and that coughing that he was showing signs of after the event indicated that obviously he might have got, who knows, he might have copped a clod or something. 2, Lord of Lords, written by Hugh Bowman, will be the winner here as we stand by for all placings. The interest will be in third, very, very close for third. Pensive Warfare will be second. Well, it was the intention. The steward's advisors, connections were going to have the horse, if possible, ridden from back. But obviously, Ronnie Stewart must have thought that, well, it's a bit pointless me going back. I'm not going to get into any better posse than what I am now. So under the circumstances, the run was terrific. So the best back horses have run first and second, and the third is in total abeyance at the moment. Lord of Lords, as I say, is by King of Kings from Mean Eyes.
Yeah, Lord of Lords too good. Huey Bowman on fire there today with a double over Pensive Warfare, and we're still awaiting the third and fourth numbers after the running of race 4 there at Randwick. We'll bring you those shortly. They are heading around to this Bowman, 390, 170 over Pensive Warfare and Z Action, 1040, 1850, 178.60. Fourth was Stadium, 2, 4, 12 and 1. The first 4 paying $1,438.90 after the running of the fourth at Randwick. $3.30. The Melbourne Cup's arriving at Flemington after its journey around Australia, and it's been just about everywhere to places like Nowra, the Outback. It just about went to every spot you can imagine right around Australia, and it came to Sky Channel. And if you were watching that day, we had the Melbourne Cup as our visitor for about half an hour, discussed all those wonderful things and traditions about it, and there it is arriving today around about 33 minutes before the running of the big one. So the Melbourne Cup arrives, famous, one of the most famous trophies in sporting history, of course, and a terrific atmosphere there today at Flemington. There's the market update. The main ones: Mamool 860, Pentastic 10, Holy Orders at 15, 13 Distinctly Secret, 940 Grey Song, Mackay Diva 970, 610 for Frightening, and 20 for Zagalia, and the rest at pretty big odds. The crowd roaring as the Melbourne Cup arrives, where the winner will be going down that particular path in a roundabout 40. Magnificent scene. Rob Guest. Mamool at 8:30, Pentastic at 10, Holy Orders at 16, Mr. Prudent 12. We're 29 minutes away now from the Melbourne Cup. And further over, you've got 13 Distinctly Secret, 930 Grey Song, Mackay Diva at 940, 610 for Frightening. Now the top weight, one of the overseas horses, is Jardine's Lookout, and overseas rider Daryl Holland is the rider, and is now talking with Alf Matthews.
Well, it's always nice to welcome our international riders, and one that I know fairly well, Daryl Holland, one of England's best in the business. Daryl, welcome to Melbourne.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be here, great atmosphere, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to the big race.
Now, Jardine's Lookout, you've ridden him on several occasions now. What are your thoughts?
Well, you know, he's a horse that's very streetwise. You know, he's been around the block a few times, and you know, I'm going to try and get a prominent position as well. Last year he just got back in his field and ran home, so I think I'm going to try and go forward.
Darryl, with the other representatives from the International, now, what do you consider the best of them?
I'd have to say it's Mamul, but he's a horse that, you know, he's only raced in small fields. He's not used to a big, you know, hustle and bustle of a race like this, so he may lack a bit of inexperience, but he has got the class.
Will you be determined to go forward on Jardine's Lookout?
Yeah, I think I have to, because he's a horse that stays very well. So, you know, I don't want to be giving the, you know, the sprint finishes that advantage. So I think if I go forward and, you know, and make it a good test for my lad, because he will stay.
And it's always an advantage given the fact that he's been here before.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he ran 7th here last year, you know, and, you know, he's better prepared this year. You know, the plan was always to come back, and he's had a lighter campaign in England, so hopefully he'll be still fresh.
Darryl, wonderful to see you. Good luck.
Right, Al, thank you.
There he is, Darryl Holland, one of the best in the business, and I kid you not, will cope with Australian conditions.
OK, good luck to Darryl. And here's the jockeys being introduced to the crowd at Flemington prior to the running of this year's Melbourne Cup. And Damien Oliver about to step up, last year's winner, with all the emotion, of course, after the sad passing of his brother Jason. And he rides the horse that ran second to him last year, ironically, and that is Mr. Prudent. We'll come back with more of the colour being introduced to the crowd. As you see, young Reese Wheeler, the rider of one of the outsiders, Bold Bard. He's just being introduced. So we've got 3 to come. Here's Claire Lindop. Good on you, Claire. She's riding in the race, the female jockey, and it must be an enormous thrill for your young South Australian. So good luck to Claire on Devon. Not many giving it much of a chance of winning, but she's at least got a ride in Australia's greatest race. Stevie Baster, been a favourite with the Victorians for many years, riding for Graham Rogerson today on Farwas. And we're about to see young Michael Rodd, who's already had the thrill of riding a Melbourne Cup winner today, of riding a winner on Melbourne Cup Day earlier today with the Magic Tumbler, one of the nicest young men in the business, of course. And young Michael must be a great thrill. He's aboard Yakama, which has given some hope by few people too. There it is, all the riders introduced to the crowd at Flemington in front of a huge crowd on one of the most beautiful days you'd ever get for a Melbourne Cup. The weather, sensational, and it's just improved as the day's gone along. OK, now just looking down the straight, I rather like this idea of having those rather large figures of the jockeys. It's very, very colourful and just adds to the glamour of this wonderful day, with that crowd looking down upon them. Now, James Given trains Hugs Dancer, and we're going back to the track now with this interview with James, with Andrew Bensley.
Well, James, this is true Melbourne weather. We get this weather 12 months of the year. You believe me?
It hasn't been the last few days, but since wherever I go in the world, we then brings the rain. They ought to sell me to drought-stricken countries.
Well, the firm track, it'll assist Hugs Dancer?
Yeah, very much so. It's his ground of choice, so I couldn't be happy with the ground.
His preparation